10 Truly Disgusting Habits of Royalties. In the era of the great monarchies, the royal families of European nations were people of dignity and culture, above the low and filthy lifestyles of the poor. At least, that's what they wanted people to believe. The reality though, is a bit different. Number 10. Henry VIII. Among his many reforms, King Henry VIII introduced an all-important job to the English monarchy, the groom of the stool. One lucky boy, chosen from the sons of his most trusted nobles, got the job of following the king around with a portable toilet. The groom of the stool needed to be ever vigilant. He was expected to watch the king as he ate, make notes of what he consumed, and prepare for the job to come. When the moment came, the groom would help the king undress and then clean up his mess. Number 9. Christian VII. Denmark's 18th century King Christian VII knew no love greater than his own hand. He spent so much time at it that the Danish government organized meetings to figure out what to do about it. The doctors who looked after him were convinced that chronic masturbation was the cause of all his problems. Christian VII was mentally ill, afflicted with porphyria. In reality, mental illness was probably the root of his masturbation problems. Number 8. Joanna of Castile. Joanna of Castile, the mother of Emperor Charles V of Spain, spent the better years of her life married to a man known as Philip the Handsome. Apparently, she thought Philip deserved his nickname because she refused to let anyone bury him when he died. Instead, Joanna kept her husband's dead body in her room. Over 12 months, while Philip's body slowly decayed, Joanna went on acting as if he was still alive. Whenever someone asked, she would simply insist that he was asleep and would wake up soon. Creepy, right? Number 7. King Charles II. In 1651, King Charles II started a new project. Every time he slept with a woman, he plucked a few hairs from under her skirt. Then he stitched them all together into a wig that gradually grew into an unnervingly thick mane of female hairs. When the wig got big enough to cover a man's head, Charles II donated it to a Scottish drinking club called the Beggars' Benisons Club. They loved it so much that they wore it during their ceremonies. One person even stole it and used it to start his own club, where he made people kiss it. Number 6. Queen Maria Eleonora. Queen Maria Eleonora did not love her husband, King Gustavus Adolphus, for his power or his money. She loved him for his heart. When he died, she had his heart ripped out of his body so that she could sleep with it. Maria Eleonora kept her dead husband's organ in a golden box that she placed above her bed each night. Number 5. King Farouk. Legend has it that King Farouk of Egypt had the greatest and largest collection of pornography in the world. He boasted that he had warehouses full of the stuff scattered around the world, with whole storage compartments filled to the brim in Rome, Monaco, and Cairo. Writer and former pimp Scott Bowers claims that he convinced Farouk to ship several crates of porn to the famous sexologist Alfred Kinsey. According to Bowers, the crates arrived filled almost exclusively with pictures of Arab men with young boys. Number 4. King Adolf Fredrik. Swedish King Adolf Fredrik had a habit of eating a dessert called semla, which is a sweet roll filled with green. This, in itself, is not disgusting, but he ate so many that it killed him. In 1771, the Swedish king sat down to a meal of lobster, caviar, and every other decadent food you can think of. When the meal was done, he wolfed his way through 14 semlas in a single sitting. When he managed to stand up, his stomach, unsurprisingly, was bothering him, and he died shortly after. He went down in history as the king who ate himself to death, which is not totally fair. Number 3. King James I. King James I is not the most hygienic person. Legend has it that King James never bathed. His tongue was too large for his mouth. Whenever James drank, the liquid would dribble down the side of the king's chin. James would not do much about it. He never washed his hands, only rubbed his fingers ends slightly through the wet end of a napkin. This was apparently the only type of hygiene the king ever practiced. Number 2. Charles VI. King Charles VI of France was horribly mentally ill. He would break into fits where he would run wildly through his home. On other days, he became convinced that he was made of glass and would not move a single muscle. The worst bout lasted for 5 long months, during which he did not bathe or change his clothes even once. For nearly half a year, the king just stayed very still and carefully tried to avoid bumping into anybody. And the most disgusting royalty on this list is Louis XIV. Of all the people in history, French King Louis XIV must have been the smelliest. His throne doubled as a toilet, and he would use it while conducting court sessions. One would expect the court to notice the smell. But when Louis XIV was in the room, there were enough smells going around already to block it out. The man only bathed 3 times in his entire life, which was on the low side even by 17th century standards. And folks, that is our video. Let us know in the comment what you think about this video. And please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to VIII for more informative videos. Thanks.